The only way I'm gonna know what I like is if I also know what I don't like. Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. This is NK. Subscribe if you are new here. We are doing another New York City apartment hunt. Almost done with my current lease. It actually ends the end of March. Being proactive with looking at different areas of New York to see which neighborhood really resonates with me for my next chapter in New York. Go check out my other videos. I have a handful of other videos looking at different areas in New York and really feeling out what I like, because I think that is the most important thing when looking into new apartments. It's not just about the apartment itself, it's about your neighborhood, the surrounding area where you're going to be walking and doing your groceries and all your day-to-day activities. I'm taking it upon myself to look at more areas. I'm looking for specifically a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. I personally prefer lower Manhattan and Midtown Manhattan, but I'm expanding my search a little bit. There are more things I want to see. I also don't want to fully limit myself to specific areas when there are other areas that are less expensive. They also have charm as well. Today's video is going to be dedicated to the Upper West Side. I feel like I've never talked about the Upper West Side in any video that I've ever made because I just don't really think about it. I actually never go there. However, I've heard nothing but great things about the restaurants, how walkable it is, how it is a very residential, beautiful feel, which is very different than most of Manhattan. That part really enticed me and really made me want to look into it more. We're looking at 4 apartments in the Upper West Side. There are some that I think are going to surprise you. They even surprised me when I booked these viewings. We're just gonna go have a nice little morning in the Upper West Side looking at these apartments, and then we will do a chit chat and debrief after. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into the video. I'm in the Upper West Side. I'm not even gonna lie, it was such a struggle to get here, but we're here and I'm a little late to my first appointment. We're almost there. This is apartment 1. The tenants were still in the apartment, which is why it is still furnished. But I actually liked seeing it furnished because then I could really envision the space. This was the bathroom. There's a tub. I like the tiling on the floor and on the walls. It's a pretty decent sized bathroom, I would say. This is one of the 2 closets in the space. They utilized the upper areas of both closets really well and put a lot in it. Now we're on to the living room and bedroom portion. So I've literally never seen a studio and I was pretty impressed with this one. Amazing light. They were able to fit so much in there and it was a beautiful sunny day. They also had a cat. Apartment only had 2 windows in the space, but it let in a lot of light. The tenant that was there pointed out a few things in the space that needed to be fixed, which I appreciated. And now off to the second apartment. Here is apartment number 2. We start in the bathroom. There is a tub, but some of it looked very old and run down, like the tiles, and it just looked dirty, which I did not appreciate. I'm such a stickler on that kind of stuff. They had under sink storage, but it was very minimal. Also behind the mirror storage, pretty standard in most apartments I'm seeing. There was a closet in the entryway that seemed like a decent size and you can store upward. Then here is the living room. I think it's a pretty decent size as well. Here is the kitchen area, and then I'm just panning through to the living room. Here is one of the windows in the space. Not sure how much natural light would actually come through though. Now just taking a deeper look into the kitchen. The appliances look a little older than I would like, but decent storage. The living room could easily fit a dining room table and a couch. Moving on to the bedroom. The bedroom was actually the most surprising part of the entire space. The ceilings are so high. My voice is echoing. Well, one, because there's nothing in here, but two, the ceilings are quite high. They're probably like 11 feet ceilings. I don't know if I got those measurements right, but they were very high ceilings, and I just loved walking around this room. It is probably more than twice the size of my room. This wall was massive, and you can fit so much in here. You could probably even fit a couch and a bed. Here is the closet that I'm standing in. There's the radiator, and here's the view of the bedroom window. Lots of ground to work with, for sure. So this window I'm looking out of right now definitely gets a lot of good natural light, which is appreciated. But then the other one doesn't really get a lot of light, so I'm not really sure why it's there, maybe for ventilation. But nevertheless, on to our third apartment. Here's apartment 3. I'm gonna be so honest, this was really disappointing. It was so dirty in so many aspects. I was really taken aback by how the building could show apartments that look like this and in this condition. Like, the floors were just so unkept. The bathroom in so many aspects was not great. Some of the ceiling was just unfinished. This kitchen was tiny. I was so surprised that they can make a kitchen like this. Only one person can be in here, barely. Now we're in the hallway. There are 3 closets in the hallway. Are these closets or pantries though? Because there's no rods, but you can obviously put stuff in there. Now we're in the bedroom. Here is a true closet, and there's overhead storage space as well. The bedroom was a decent size, definitely bigger than my bedroom currently. I was just not pleased with what I saw. I'm literally just sitting on the ground contemplating what I just saw. I was very turned off by this apartment. I feel like I have to be as honest as possible. But on to the 4th apartment. Here's apartment 4. This apartment is actually a studio. Right now we're in the living room space, into the kitchen. The appliances are pretty new. From what it looked like, the whole apartment was recently finished or updated, and it had that newness feeling. I didn't love these bars on the window. Now we're walking into the bathroom, standard size bathroom. I do not like the glass. Like, I think that's plexiglass. Correct me if I'm wrong. Storage behind the mirror and under the sink. I did like this holder on the shower. Now we're in the bedroom area. Yes, it is a studio, so there's no door, but they have this like separate alcove, I think it's called. And here is the closet, the one closet in the space. You can definitely build upwards, which is nice. And good lighting, very, very good lighting. I thought it was cute and quaint, and I do like the modern feel of the entire apartment. And the living room is a decent size as well. So now let's go home. We have a much needed debrief on what we saw today. I'm back from touring apartments today, and let's debrief. I didn't really know what to expect because all I've heard about the Upper West Side is that it is very residential, very quiet, really pretty. I would say all those things were true from when I stepped foot in the Upper West Side this morning. I definitely did have some struggles getting there, and I wanted to touch on that first. The biggest reason why I don't go to the Upper West Side that often is the accessibility. I live on the east side right now. I spend most of my time on the east side. In my personal opinion, the public transit favors the east side rather than the west. Definitely leave a comment if you think otherwise, but this is just my experience living here for 1 year and taking the train all the time. The upper part of Manhattan, I just feel like it's less and less accessible. Granted, it is a Saturday as I'm filming this, and the bus train schedules are a little bit more limited. Regardless, I did get up there. I was really trying to figure out how accessible is that area really. That was the first thing that was on my mind. I saw 4 apartments today. All of them were pretty close together, so it was nice because I just walked to all of them once I got off of the train. I saw 2 1-bedroom apartments, and then I got to see 2 studios. Yes, you heard me, I said studio. I have never seen a studio before in New York. In terms of this search so far, I have been, up until this point, very adamant on wanting a 1-bedroom. I have a 1-bedroom currently. Where I'm at in my life, I favor a 1-bedroom rather than a studio. I like that separate private door for my sleeping space. That means a lot to me. That doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, and that's okay. But for me, that is a higher priority. So therefore, that's something that I have prioritized throughout this whole search and why I live in a 1-bedroom right now. But I thought, why not just look? There's nothing wrong with looking. It's like window shopping. You can just look, but you don't have to buy and you don't have to do anything with it. I decided to go look. I would honestly say, surprisingly enough, the studios I saw looked nicer overall than the 1-bedroom apartments in that area. I have to be very clear because that area is just completely different in terms of the architecture than any other place that I've seen. If you've already seen my other videos, you would know this, but if you have not, I've looked at Gramercy, I've looked at Midtown East, I've looked at Chelsea, I've looked at the East Village. Nothing compared to what I saw today in the Upper West Side. All of the architecture is so different. I think it's a lot more older. I don't know if vintage is the right word, but the doors are heavier, the ceilings are a little higher, a lot more things are run down, I would say. Those things were something of note. In terms of how far up it is for me and my lifestyle, don't really believe the Upper West Side is the place for me, but I think it was really good that I got to go see it. Like I said throughout all my videos, the only way I'm gonna know what I like is if I also know what I don't like. There was a lot of things about the Upper West Side that I wasn't the biggest fan of. The area, but the apartments themselves as well. Don't get me wrong, I think that the Upper West Side as a whole, although it's huge, so I'm really just speaking to what I saw, I thought it was nice, quiet, and residential, which those are all pluses for me. However, I didn't see a lot of things in my day-to-day that would be really accessible. The grocery store was actually many blocks away from the area that I was. Not a lot of gyms, not a lot of coffee shops. It was very residential. I do like that happy mix of I get some residential, I have some commercial streets, shops, I'm accessible to the train. All these things are very important to me in my day-to-day and what factor into my decisions. I hope that you guys are starting to get a sense that I am a very meticulous person. I don't just do things on a whim. I literally have to weigh so many different options, but I also know, and I've said this in videos past, there are things I know that I will have to forego to make room for other things that are a higher priority on my list. But in terms of what I saw today in the Upper West Side, I was not sold on any one of them, and I just didn't feel like I would feel comfortable applying to any one of them based on the location and what was actually a part of the apartment. Now that I've seen a good amount of apartments, I can kind of start to narrow down my search a little bit more. There are areas that I know that are probably not for me and my lifestyle and what I know that I like, especially after living here for 1 whole year. Now I can really get a better sense of what I like. I couldn't say this a year ago, and that's why I kind of went into this whole thing blind a year ago. And now I have a lot more perspective. I have lived here and I've seen what I like. I'm still learning day after day. Now go back into what I really liked and what I didn't, and now get a little bit more specific. I probably will do a few more of these videos. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post them all, but I am still actively looking. My current lease is up at the end of March. I think I misspoke in one of my other videos. I think I said it was up the end of February. It's actually up the end of March. So I actually still have a full 2 months to figure this out, which is way more than enough time. Honestly, in New York, in the New York market, things move very quickly and things actually become available pretty quickly as well. As fast as things get taken up is just as fast as apartments are available. More listings and more inventory do just pop up. I'm honestly not worried. I am not pressed. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Look at the areas in specific and really try to visualize, what do I want my next year to look like? That is my biggest goal for right now. Once I finally figure it out in the next 2.5 months, I will definitely kind of take you guys through my formal process of why I decided what I did. We'll have a lot more to talk about then, don't you worry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm really happy that I'm bringing these to you guys. I'm seeing that a lot of people are really curious about the New York City apartment hunting process in general. I am someone who watched a ton of these videos a year ago when I wasn't even here yet. I'm happy that I'm bringing kind of an educational spin on this process and demystifying. It's not a hard process, it's just you really need to figure out what works for you, because what works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, vice versa. I'm glad that I'm showing you guys different areas of New York. I've gotten like DMs and messages about different places in New York that they were thinking of. I'm glad I'm having these conversations with people, and it makes me happy because I live here and I can be an accessible resource to others. That makes me really happy. Also just documenting this experience for myself to look back on, and now that I have a few of these videos, I can be like, okay, I loved this area. I love this type of structure in an apartment. It's a visual notebook. It's so helpful for me, and this is how I process things. A lot of people don't process like this, and that's okay. But for the people who do, I'm glad that I'm doing this for you guys. You guys are the ones I'm doing it for. Please subscribe if you are new here. Always feel free to leave a comment. I love chatting with you guys and learning about where you're from and what brought you here. There's so many more videos to come, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next one.